Hello, everybody. Thanks for taking the time to watch our video today. My name is Steve Hicks. I'm the Security Practice Manager over here at Endsight. And today we're talking about a topic near and dear to my heart and the rest of the security community, layered security, or what we call defense in depth. Let's think about your house for a second. Does locking your door keep anyone out? Of course not, right? It may keep a casual attacker out who's just trying to open the door, but it doesn't keep actual dedicated attackers out. Neither does a fence or window locks, or probably even a dog, right? But combining all of those technologies does keep you safer. It does help get people out of your house. Computers are the exact same thing. Now, burglars for your house walking down the street looking for targets of opportunity may not be the most professional, dedicated attack force on the planet, but the hackers are. Last year, the hackers had about $9.5 trillion. Thank you, Bitcoin, for telling us and making it possible to pay people's ransom. And that allows for a pretty staggering pace of innovation, meaning they can change their tactics, change their procedures quite a bit, as well as a very developed business force. These organizations advertise on Twitter, they advertise for retirement plans, and they advertise for benefits and vacation, like a real job. And people are taking these and trying to build a career out of these. So the bad guys have a very developed and well-resourced industry, and they evolve quite a bit. So what do we do about this, right? We put in various nets, like a trapeze artist, almost exactly the same way. Now, everybody only thinks of technology as the net of security, your endpoint protection or your DNS protection, your web filtering. But do a thought experiment with me. As you're watching this video, does anybody really think that a password keeps out a bad guy? Because I don't. Does anybody ever think an antivirus will protect you from any virus out there on the planet? Of course not. And does anybody think that a web filter absolutely stops all bad websites forever? I mean, ask any high school student if they've bypassed a web filter, and they'll tell you, of course it doesn't. In the security community, we're trying to combine lots of technology. But the problem is the technology is your safety net. It's the last layer. Cybersecurity is built on three pillars: people, process, and technology, in that order. So if somebody gets compromised, if the actual technology fails, or if it doesn't fail and stops an attack, you've already had two failures. The person has failed and has been tricked or has fallen for some kind of an attack, and the process to stop that attack and to properly report it and to make sure that humans are properly trained has also failed. Basically, if you're relying on the technology, you've already missed or lost the two bigger parts. Now, we're going to be doing a series of videos on the pillars that we think are important in our protective solution, our managed security services provider. And just like a house, we have a whole graphic on what translates to protecting your home, what translates to protecting your business, the difference between a dedicated, completely silent attacker and somebody walking down the street, knocking on doors and throwing rocks through windows. Very different levels of sophistication. But there are lots of different things that we can put into place that help protect from the future, right? The bad guys are going to evolve. And my job and the job of all of my compatriots in security is to say, what are they going to do next? And the truth is, we're terrible at that. I'd love to have clairvoyance and be able to predict the future and sell you just what you need, or put in just the protection that's important. But since I can't, I have to layer things that I hope are going to solve the next attack. Think about spam for a moment. Ever notice that spam comes in waves? You get a whole bunch, then it dies down, you get a whole bunch more. Ever wonder why? Same exact thing, evolution. Bad guys find a new way in. They find a way through the firewall. They find a way through the spam filter, and they start sending spam, and spam goes up. And then the good guys figure out what the hole was. They patch the hole, and the spam goes down again. And the infinite cycle repeats. The same thing is with all cybersecurity technology. They find a new way in. We find a countermeasure, or it was stopped by one of our previous countermeasures, hopefully. We move on with our lives. We slow the attack down. We stop everything. Hopefully, this helps you understand why we can't just put a single thing in place or rely entirely on technology without any process or people involvement at all. If this is interesting to you, please set aside some time with me. My bookings link will be in this email's description, so you can actually find time directly on my calendar. I love talking about this stuff, and it's even more fun to speculate about what's coming in the future. Again, $9.5 trillion makes them the third largest GDP in the world. The hackers are the third largest GDP in the world. If you're an Endsight client, you're also welcome to reach out to your account manager. They have me as a resource, and they have some great information on why we do what we do in the order in which we do it, and why we think training, policy writing, process improvement, direction, all that kind of cybersecurity should come equally as important to the required technological solutions like endpoint protection and web filtering. Hopefully this helps, and hopefully you'll be able to see some more videos that explain the specific things we think are important and that we layer together for a complete package. Have a good rest of your day and stay safe out there.